Welcome to this new podcast. My name is Gopal. I'm a German trauma therapist and spiritual teacher. And I would like to invite you to a journey into your own being, into that what is really you and what is not you. So let's start by what we are all doing. And what are we all doing? It is searching. Everyone is searching. We are constantly searching something. Some search for success, some search for another partner, some search money, prestige. Whatever on the outside is the goal of our search, the common movement or impulse is that we are not satisfied with that, what is and where we are and how we are. So there's a constant thriving for something else, for change, for a goal on the outside or for a goal in the inside. Some search for enlightenment, for nirvana, for spiritual experiences, for happiness, for a partner, thousands of things. And there are people who search, but they even don't know what they are searching. But the movement is the same in all of us. There's something in us that forces us in a way to search for something. Now, if you look at it, no one actually has reached it. Well, the enlightened ones say that they have found it. But it's not a finding, really. It's the end of the search, but this is another topic. Normal people like me and you probably, although we are searching our whole life, we haven't found the goal. The search goes on endlessly. So what is that search? First, what I would like to say is that you will never find what you search. Well, this is not a nice message. But if you continue to listen what I'm saying, you may understand something that goes beyond this desperate search and disappointment, hope and disappointment all the time, like a circle. So there's a solution, but it has nothing to do with searching and finding in the mind. What I'm talking about is actually the result of distortions of relationships in childhood, and this is what we call developmental trauma or attachment trauma. At the beginning, in our childhood, we experience relationships, patterns of relationships that are not healthy for us. And if that goes so far that our development is really distorted or even damaged, then the result is what we call developmental trauma or attachment trauma. And this is not an explanation what trauma is, but I must introduce that to you so that you can see and understand the whole situation where you are in, because otherwise you cannot understand all this and what's going inside of you and how the society makes us mad and confuses us more and more, and we cannot find a solution. So at the beginning, as I said, we experience tremendous disappointment within the relationship to our parents or our caregivers. And this results in stress in the body. The crucial point is unresolvable stress during the childhood. The child is not able to resolve that stress. So the stress remains in the body because a child cannot repair the relationship to their caregivers. If the caregivers, the parents, are traumatized themselves, the child is not a therapist, and even if the child would be a therapist, it would be all impossible. So there's no solution for a child, only pseudo-solutions. And these pseudo-solutions to deal with that is what we call developmental trauma. This is the result. A pseudo-solution, for example, to deal with this situation in childhood is to suppress emotions and impulses. And the core emotions are sadness, grief, and rage and anger. So these are the main emotions because they are connected with our deepest desires and needs on the relational level to our parents. Now, if we suppress or have had to suppress core movements inside of us, which are connected to core needs of our body, especially during development in childhood, this results in massive stress because the body doesn't get what it needs. And as I said, because there's no change in the relational patterns of the parents and caregivers, there is no real solution. It cannot be resolved. So we carry this stress on in our body. Now, I started with searching. This search you experience is actually driven by this stress in the body. It's a confusion of layers. Yeah? The body is in stress and needs a solution. But there was no solution in childhood, so the body cannot even imagine that there is a solution and what the solution actually is. So the energy that is used or that is circulating in the body needs a channel, needs like an exit. So the energy goes into the mind, yeah, and produces this surge. Another possibility is that this energy goes into the body and creates symptoms and illnesses. But I want to talk about this surge. So what you call search, or the search for meaning in life and all that, this is the result of stress in the body. And as trauma therapists, we say a dysregulation. It's a dysregulation of the autonomous nervous system. And that means that the body doesn't feel safe. And it doesn't feel safe because we are not able to fully connect and live deep relationships. This is the result of developmental trauma. So it is like many steps that the body-mind system took until, as a grown-up, we find ourselves in a circle, in a desperate circle of searching, hoping, and disappointment. And to understand all that and to resolve it finally, I invite you to go back. So we go back from the searching that is far on the outside, on the periphery, and is dealing with the outside, back to yourself and to the actual problem. And if you see that and can understand that, then it is obvious what the solution is. So let's start with the search. The search doesn't lead to a result because it has nothing to do with the actual problem. Now, if we understand that this search is actually a distorted way of dealing with energy and stress of the body, then we should start thinking about how can we help the body to release the stress. And as I said before, the stress comes through the constant experience that we do not fully contact and fully live our relationships. And that means that we are not able, or think we are not able, to communicate everything that's inside of us in our close relationships. So this is how we recreate the trauma patterns or the trauma pattern in our adult life. We recreate that in every second new. It is not necessary anymore, but we do that because the body-mind system it's like it doesn't know anything else. So we recreate, we relive the distorted relational patterns that we experienced in childhood, and this results in stress. We recreate the physiological in our body and the experience on the relational level. So actually we live in the childhood. And this is why the body still has stress. So to help the body to finally realize that it is safe today, we have to look inside what we are not sharing with the one who lives close to us. This is the actual point. So instead of searching and trying to find something on the outside, enlightenment, a partner or a better partner or money or success or whatever, we go back to ourselves and look, what is our taboo? What do we want to hide before ourselves and before others? And this has something to do with the core emotions of sadness and hate, anger. One of these or both. So the actual solution is that you dare to share this, what's going on inside of you on the emotional level in relation to your partner. So this is the challenge. And if you do that, your so-called ego will be dissolved. And by that, the stress in the body will be resolved, because your body really deeply understands that today I can share that what's inside of me. And again, this has to do with our needs. And then the body can relax, because the nervous system we have as human beings needs close attachments and contact and relationships. We cannot live on our own like the reptiles. We have a different nervous system. We have a vagus, a mammal vagus. So if you are interested in that, I would recommend to study the polyvagal theory from Dr. Stephen Porges. But in this audio, I would like to help you to see the solution and to realize that the solution is actually a simple thing. The solution is to really try, to really dare to share the core emotions with your partner. I feel hate. I feel sadness. This is what's all about. And if you do that in the honest sharing way, this is another topic in itself. Like I developed the honest sharing, it's a structured modality to share these things in a very smooth and pleasant way. Then the body relaxes, and that is what we call regulation. In trauma therapy, it's about regulating or regulation of the autonomous nervous system. And if we do that and share our core emotions with our partner, then we complete what was not possible in childhood. And this is a completion of the whole body and emotional layers, because the stress in the body will be released and it results in relaxation, and the emotions will be shared. So what you do actively is sharing the emotions, and this results in relaxation of the body, and at the same time it will create new and more healthy patterns of relationships in your mind. The patterns that we have in our mind that resulted from experiences in childhood, this is really the basis of our whole life, of our whole perspective, how we see the world, and also the basis of our physiology of the body. So it influences everything. We could even say, or I say that the pattern we have in our mind, the relational pattern that we have in our mind, is our life, because this is how our life energy is channeled. Yeah, and this defines how the energy flow between us and the world and other people is distorted or is freely flowing. The process is simple to share these things with your partner, but if you do that or try to do that, you will see that it's really a big thing. It may even feel like going through a death. But if you do that, you will see that this is the solution you are searching for. But it is not done by a search that the mind finds something. The instance in you that's searching will die in that process. That's the interesting thing about it. It's not that you find a solution, it's not that the mind finds a solution, it's about sharing your taboo, your core emotions, and this dissolves this whole complex of searching and longing for something. You will experience a deep satisfaction and silence and peace inside your body, inside your emotions, and inside your mind. And this state of regulation, of fully being in contact and relationship, is actually the portal, the door to spirituality and meditation. And as long as you have not completed this, it is actually impossible to go into deep meditation because the body cannot relax. And if the body cannot relax, you cannot meditate. Your attention will always be driven back to the stress in your body. And the body says, no, I don't want to meditate. I want a solution for my stress because this stress is based on biological needs. So this will block your spiritual path and your meditation. So that's what I'm saying. First, dissolve or solve your developmental trauma by honest sharing, by doing trauma therapy, and then the door is open for meditation. If you want to know more about that or even work with me, I'm doing online and offline events for trauma healing. The method I developed I call floating, and also I give introductions for honest sharing, the modality that you can do with your partner alone without a therapist.